Now, the one-time pad is referred to as unbreakable or the perfect encryption scheme. And you'll see this, I'm sure you read cryptography books all the time. But you'll see this in literature, or you'll see it when if you do go through any type of cryptography books or take any classes. It is referred to as the perfect scheme, and that it can't be broken. But that's only true if it's used properly. And we know what the weakest link of security is people. And over history, people have not used one-time pads properly, which means that the messages were intercepted and understood. So what does it mean to use it properly? Well, first, it's a one-time pad. It should be used only one time. So for my first message, I use this key, this one-time pad. My second message, I should use a totally different pad, a totally different sequence of binary values. Because if I use that pad over and over again, that can show patterns. And in the past, because these have been used for military purposes, in the past they have been broken by an enemy because somebody would use the pad more than once. So the pad needs to be used only one time. It also needs to be distributed securely, which means if I need to figure out how to get that pad to you securely, and that could be difficult because it could be intercepted, and it's a physical thing that somebody can come and steal, so it has to be properly protected. And the other thing is that the one-time pad has to be at least as long as the message. Because if you think about it, let's say the pad is half the size of the message. Well, then we'll use the pad on the first part of the message, and then we have to use the pad again on the second part of the message. So that's why the pad has to be at least as long as the message, so we're not using it over and over again. Now, if all of these things are followed and they're done correctly, that's when it's really unbreakable. And this was used in in wars, and it's been used over really hundreds of years as a way to encrypt secrets. Now today, it's not very practical for me to figure out how to get a pad to you, and you use the pad to decrypt the message. That's not how we do our encryption and sending secret or sensitive data. But that doesn't mean that they're not around anymore. One-time pads are still around. A lot of governments have them in case there is a backup, in case that we lose power, we lose the computing power that we have. So if in a war all of our communications were knocked out, we still need a way to actually secure the communications that need to go to the other units. So one-time pads are still around, but mainly they're just as backups if our first way of encrypting sensitive data is unavailable to us.